Hey everybody, Merry Christmas. It is Thursday night, December 23rd, or 23rd, 22nd, 22nd. It's 22nd. I shouldn't ever start a show by announcing the date because I clearly don't know it. So we're just going to skip over this embarrassing moment and go straight into our intro video. Hi everybody, welcome to Shop Talk. This is the first time I'm speaking to you tonight, so welcome. I'm Josh Olive with Haven Comics, the absolute best comic book store at our address on Slaughter Road, period. The end. Uh, Speaking of things that are the best, I feel like I've got to introduce my co host and a half, Alan and Bug.
So
What's happening, guys?
once again, we have the bug with us. She is out of school on Christmas break, and Ryan Williams, once again, since you made a comment, you are entered into the giveaway. But before we talk about the giveaway, I did learn how Darth Vader orders his steaks at restaurants.
Oh my god.
He orders them well done, 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 done.
That's a knee slapper.
That's terrible. You slapped your knee so hard you worn the pants right off of that knee.
She's my comic relief.
Yeah.
Wow, that's pretty awful.
Yeah, that was bad. And I love the bad ones. I think the bad ones are just as good as the funny ones.
Do you have a book of these or what?
No, I just run across them online. Just stupid stuff. Yeah, my favorite one will always be Scarlet Witch and Daredevil. That one's just like classic.
That was pretty good. I did get a lot of mileage out of that one at the store on Saturday.
Yeah, that's just a good one.
It's a good way to tell who actually watches the show and who doesn't.
Oh, really?
Well, yeah, because if they watched it, they knew.
I didn't think about that.
And I was like, aha! You don't watch the show. What's wrong with you?
Okay, so we've got a couple of viewers. Oh,
Mike
Weslowski.
What's happening, sir?
Good evening, sir.
What
so
is she
for
doing?
the couple people that we do have on, we are doing a giveaway of Christmas presents. I do have 3 planned for the evening. Here's one. You might could guess what's in there.
Quite possibly.
This one right here was donated to us by one Mr. Mike Weslowski. I know what's in here. Josh knows what's in here. I was shocked. It was gorgeous. I love it. I want it for myself, but I can't have it, so we're going to give it to y'all.
That seems like the fair thing to do.
And then the mystery pack. So the mystery pack actually has 5 comics in it and a sticker from a comic book store. I can't remember the name of that comic book store, but there's a sticker for them in there. The 5 comics, you are looking at 3. Let me get it over here. 3 recent number 1s that have come out in, say, like the past month and a half. We are looking at a sketchbook by local artist Tom Price. But the thing about that is it's actually a sketch variant, and you have no idea what's on the cover of it, and I do. And then the 5th book is actually a signed copy of a particular comic. I'm not telling you who. And I was thinking about that last night. Was that like end of Bronze Age, beginning of Copper Age? It was
Pretty
right.
much.
Yeah. So I mean, would that book be a Bronze Age book or a Copper Age book?
It's right on the line. It depends on how you define it.
But you know what? We're going to say it's a Bronze Age book because that just sounds better.
I'm all for that. I'm all for that.
But we can do those later on this evening. We'll let some more people get in and make some comments.
You don't even have to answer trivia questions.
All you got to do
does take some of the fun out, I have to admit.
Yep. All you got to do is make a comment. Your name goes on the spinning wheel, and then later on tonight, we'll do the drawing.
I mean, make a comment. That's the least you can do.
Mm-hmm.
Just let us know you're here.
So, you had showed me a particular comic that you had, and you made a comment about how I like horror comics.
Yeah.
And I thought about this just a minute ago. Have you seen this where...
James, what's up, man? It was good to see you last night. for anybody who was not able to come out to Haven's Christmas party, uh, we had a heck of a good time, and you missed it. So you'll have to come out next year.
Mm-hmm. And he didn't actually say he would do it. He didn't promise, but I'm going to harass him till he does. Jeremy Long will eventually be on the show, and I'm
Yes.
going to force him to give us an exclusive on a guest at the Pop Culture Expo.
I dig that.
Because I told him I needed an exclusive announcement, and he just kind of laughed, and I was like, "Well, laugh if you want, but I get what I want in the end."
Were you guys still there last night at the party when I don't know what Tom said, I don't know what Tom did, but he got James so tickled. And James was just standing at the front of the store laughing so hard and for so long that everybody in the back room is like, what is going on out there? It was hysterical.
No, I
Were you
wasn't
there
there
for that?
I wasn't there for that.
Oh, buddy, you missed it. That was one of the funniest things in the world. I highly suggest anytime that you get the opportunity that you crack James up so that he just gets tickled and can't stop laughing, because that's one of the funniest things in the world.
Oh, James, just so you'll know, since you made a comment on the video, you are now entered into our giveaway for later on this evening. That's all you had to do is make a comment. We have 3 Christmas presents. They are wrapped, and even when you win it, I'm still not going to tell you what you won. You've got to open your Christmas present to find out what you won.
Don't open it till December 25th.
Yep. And I'll probably say this again later on. As of right now, depending on weather and depending on what time Tom opens the store in the morning, I plan on having any local Christmas presents at the store, hopefully by lunchtime, by noon. So if you're out and about tomorrow, or if you're out and about Saturday and the store's open, swing by and get your presents. Ryan Williams, if you are still watching, you have 2 on top of the subscriber boxes, and your son will definitely like them.
Yeah, you need to swing by, man. We hadn't seen you in a bit. We miss you.
But back to what I was asking.
Granted, it's a long trek down from Tennessee, but even so.
Honestly, I think my house is probably halfway. I probably should have just kept him and met him. That probably would have been easier for him.
Yeah, but then he wouldn't have to come to the store, and we want him to come to the store.
Yeah. But I saw that next week, and this like really flew under the radar for me. I had no idea this was coming out. The name of the company did not sound familiar. I think Tom found one on the shelf last night by this company. It's called American Mythology.
Yeah, they put out a lot of books.
And I don't know. I just never heard of them. And I do like a good indie book, but it is actually a comic book version of George A. Romero's Night of the Living Dead.
Yeah.
And but it's called Revenants or something like that. Night of the Living Dead Revenants or something like that.
Yep.
And it said that from what I read, it's supposed to be just like the movies, except they added a couple of things just to have a twist in there for readers.
That's about what I remember. So yeah.
Yeah. So I'm kind of looking forward to that.
It should be good.
Mm-hmm.
Should be good. But yeah, American Mythology puts out a bunch of books. They have for a little while now. We had one reader at the store. They have since moved away, but we had one reader at the store who asked for anything that they put out, they wanted in their box. So other than that, it was kind of hit or miss, just pick and choose from what people wanted. But they had one person who would read anything that they published.
Now that's got me intrigued. I'm going to have to check them out.
Yeah, they're interesting. They do a pretty wide array of books. For me, the stories are hit or miss. I don't love them all, but they're not bad. They're a pretty cool little company. I think they're growing into something. Speaking of companies, we had some news this week that was not my favorite, but Aftershock, who has put out some really stellar books. They have declared Chapter 11 bankruptcy. From what I have seen and heard, this is kind of a restructuring of the company, but it's never good. I mean, sometimes companies come out of these things and they're okay, but sometimes they don't. So crossing our fingers for Joe Pruitt and the rest of the gang over there at Aftershock, and hope they come through this okay. I mean, Marvel declared bankruptcy in what, 96, 97?
Marvel's declared bankruptcy a couple of times, haven't they?
Just the once that I remember, but they came through it okay.
Yeah, I think they're going to be
people
all
have
right.
heard of them since. I think they're going to be all right.
Yeah. Well, at the end of the day, they got that Disney money, so they're going to be okay. I think they'll survive another year.
At least one more year.
At least one more year. Yeah, it was funny because last Friday when I was up at the store, Tom was telling me about how Aftershock basically owed all these creators money and everything. And then it seemed like the very next day they were filing bankruptcy. It's like, wow, okay, that escalated quickly.
Yeah, that was very unfortunate.
Yeah, and I kind of found that a little wild, just for the simple fact that it was just maybe a year, 2 years ago that half of their books had been optioned for TV shows and stuff.
Yep.
I mean,
the problem is things being optioned and things actually being made, and then those things being profitable.
Yeah,
it's just a giant funnel. So optioned is up here, and getting made, being profitable, and they just haven't got down to that final stage yet.
But I mean, option is a massive step, and I mean that's like hope. That's literally where it all starts. And I think that Lost City Explorers
was such a good book.
It would make a phenomenal TV show.
It would, wouldn't it?
Even if they did it on, say, like Nickelodeon or something and geared it toward kids.
Well, it should be a family-friendly show for sure, because the protagonists are all kids, and it should feel to me like a modern-day Goonies or something along those lines.
Yeah,
it's got that same kind of underlying vibe to it, and I think that would be awesome.
Yeah, that's the book that I got Joe Pruitt to sign when he was at the store, and I was like, "Please tell me there's more planned for this in the future." And he was like, well, yes and no. That was actually one that had got optioned and then it got declined.
Yep.
So, and what it was is, and I didn't know this. I thought this was kind of to me, I thought it was like good, for lack of a better way to put it, inside information. That just before COVID hit and right as COVID hit, a lot of these companies and streaming services started picking up the option on tons of books, like across the board, because they were trying to get ahead of the game for when everything went back to normal. Well, it took longer than what people thought to go back to normal. And by that point, pretty much the contract on the option had died on a lot of that stuff. So, I mean, we were close to seeing, getting some good entertainment out of it. And it just didn't work out for a lot of books.
Yeah, that sucks. That would have been a real feather in the cap for some of these small publishers too, who've got really good stories and really good things going on. That would get them some recognition and some popularity, which would help them grow and expand their base. So yeah, that's unfortunate that it worked out that way.
Yeah, I'm really surprised that and I think I heard something about this, or I might have been dreaming, because that happens a lot too. I'm really surprised we have not started hearing about Nottingham going into production.
There's a new Nottingham series coming out. Did you see that? Tales of Nottingham?
And I am looking forward to that. And anybody that has not picked up Nottingham, get those trades.
We got them at the store.
Flipping phenomenal.
Nottingham from Mad Cave Studios. Pick it up.
Yep. The thing about Nottingham was, I don't think they really thought it was going to sell the way that it did.
Well, I don't think so either.
I don't think anybody was prepared for that. And I mean, when it went in that first issue, there's a reason why that book sold the way that it did. And every single issue has been outstanding.
Well, the cover of that first issue got your attention pretty quick, right? You're like,
oh, yeah.
What's going on here? I feel like I have to look at this. Holy cow, this is good.
Yeah, and when he said England is sick, you were just kind of like, oh, it's about to get bad.
This town needs an enema.
That's the first thing I thought. But the one thing about Nottingham that whenever it gets talked about, or I hear somebody mention it, or I see the book or something, the one thing that always sticks in my mind. I want to say it was issue 3, maybe, where you still had not seen, really and truly seen Robin Hood.
Mm-hmm.
You had only seen like the mask, or you have seen like a shadow or a silhouette or something.
Yep.
But the scene where he is standing on top of the keep and you kind of see him from about mid waist down, and all the people are in front of him on the ground chanting Hood.
Mm-hmm.
That scene just stands out in my mind for some reason. I loved it. I thought it was great. Great storytelling. The art fits the story. Y'all will not be disappointed if y'all pick that up.
True.
Go buy it now tonight. Josh is opening the store right now.
I'm not, in fact. We just closed, but you should get that book for sure, and we have it at the store. I'm texting some people to let them know that we've started the show.
Well, while you do that, once again, I have. Oh, wait a minute. Should we look and see what's in my store folio, or should we look and see what's in this brown box that came in the mail today?
Store folio. Let's start with that.
All
Build up
right,
some
let's
suspense.
do that. Somebody's dying to see what's in the box. Don't worry, it's not for you, child. It's for me.
I just want to know.
So
that's not a Christmas present for me.
no, it's not a Christmas. In fact, you might already have it. I don't know. We'll find out here in a little bit. Yes, Firestorm. I literally found a picture that I really liked of Firestorm and put it in there.
Matt Posey.
I've also got a Moon Knight and Dr. Fate. I kind of change them up.
Matt, how you doing, brother? Hope everything is going well.
Matt, since you made a comment, you are now in the running for a giveaway of 3 Christmas presents.
3.
One or not.
Giving them away is going to make Alan's heart grow 3 sizes, y'all.
I know.
Don't.
So, for people that have been watching a while, y'all know that I'm generally a week behind on comics just because of when I go buy my comics. Even though I was at the store last night, I went ahead and picked up my comics last night, and hey, I was reading a bunch today. So this week we've got a combination of last week's and this week's.
Excellent.
So the first one I want to start out with is actually from last week, and that is Wildcats number 2.
Hang on, we're gonna embiggen you.
We are going to embiggen me. Oh, we embiggen me. So we're going to start out with Wildcats number 2.
That's in my stack, but I have not read it yet.
So, we talked about the first issue on the show, and we both agreed the first issue was not a bad book, but it was not a good book either.
Yeah, it didn't really grab me.
Yeah, there was nothing special about it. The only thing that I liked about Wildcats number 1 was the way they introduced Wildcats to the Court of Owls at the end of it.
Yep.
It's I know it's cliche, but it was a chance meeting. It just happened, but that was the perfect way for them to be introduced. Wildcats number 2 picks up exactly where number 1 leaves off. I mean, literally the last panel of number 1, the first panel of number 2, they could go side by side, and you just keep reading all the way through. I do like the way they did that. Yep, like the first and second Incredibles. But the thing about Wildcats number 2, they redeemed themselves. This was a good book. I mean, it was solid. You kind of get a couple of little twists and turns. There's a slight little plot twist really not a plot twist. It's kind of something that they did to one of the main characters of Wildcats. And then how they turn around and reversed it again, I was kind of like, okay, well, that could be interesting. I do want to see how they do that moving forward, and I just don't want to ruin it for you. I know I'm being very confusing. I am still looking to see how Spartan is going to fit into all this. He is coming sooner or later, but we haven't got him yet. And the way they ended this particular issue, I was not expecting that either, but I think it's really good. Basically, in a nutshell, Wildcats are ran by the Halo Corporation, and they've actually been working in the background for years, kind of covertly, and nobody knows. Well, now that they've been kind of outed because of a couple of battles, they are having to go public. So that's how they're introducing them into the DCU is, hey, they've been working behind the scenes for years. We've just kept them from y'all.
That's
So
pretty cool.
yeah, I do like the way that they've done that. But yeah, so much better than the first issue. It is a limited series, so I do really want to see how they're going to do this. I think it's going to be like 6 issues. Spartan needs to hurry up and get here, though. I'm looking forward to him. Go ahead.
I was going to say the writer on that book, Matt Rosenberg, he is very good. So I'm not surprised that he started that around.
Yeah, like I said, I mean, the first issue, it wasn't a bad comic, but it was a comic. I mean, it was, okay, I read a comic book. The second issue, so much better.
Nice.
We actually had a couple of requests for this book last week.
Okay.
And it was still a little bit too new because, I don't really want to ruin something for people. But Spawn and Batman.
What'd you think?
I loved it. I thought it was great. Have you read it yet?
I have not. That's in the pile too.
Okay, so I thought it was great. I love the way they described everything. Basically, the nutshell version of this, without ruining anything. Let me get this in there so y'all can see that phenomenal flipping cover. God, I love that cover. Now, I don't love every cover, but basically, in a nutshell, Bruce Wayne's parents died on the exact same night that Wanda died.
Okay.
So that's how they're connected. And once again, a bad guy group that I absolutely love. I think that they could do so much with them. The Court of Owls has figured all this out, and they have figured out how the dead zones actually work. For those of you that don't read Spawn, that's a Spawn thing. That's mainly in the Spawn universe, but they're using the dead zones to bring Spawn and Batman together. The thing about the dead zones is when Spawn is actually in a dead zone, he's human. He no longer has his power. Naturally, him and Batman fight, and then they team up. Because it's just the way that it's got to go. This iteration of Spawn and Batman, I'm actually excited to see where all they go with this, because yes, you do get a complete story right here, but you also get the whole there's something else going on.
Mm-hmm.
So there's definitely going to be more in the future, and I'm really, really, really looking forward to seeing how they do this, because even at the end of this book, Spawn and Batman are working together, but they really don't like each other.
Well, I wouldn't think that they would.
Now, you actually, before we went live, you kind of showed this book, and I thought it was funny that you held it up. Vanish, number 4. If y'all are not reading this book, you are truly missing out. There has not been a bad issue.
No, there has not.
Have you read this one?
Yeah.
Then you're gonna understand what I'm about to say. Deacon,
I already know. Yes.
Deacon, I really want to say rest in peace, but brother, it's more like rest in pieces. That was bad.
That was bad.
Yes. But I did like the whole thing where that one, I cannot think of her name, is actually, she was, once he took the vast majority of the power, she was actually a demon.
Yeah.
I mean, they Vanish. Yes, I know a lot of people have issue with Donny Cates. But for some reason, when you put Donny Cates and Ryan Stegman together, you have gold. And I'm not talking about like spec market crap or any of that stuff. I'm just talking about like a good book.
Yeah, there is zero speculator talk about this book.
Yeah, and to be honest with you, I am happy and content that there's zero spec on this, because that means that it's on the shelf for people to be able to get and enjoy. This is an absolutely fantastic cover. And yeah, this character that's on the cover, we're just now really starting to get somewhere. One thing that I really liked about issue 4 is we have a very small basis for the story, a very small base for the story, but it can still go absolutely anywhere.
Oh, it's wide open.
Yeah, I mean, on one hand, you know what's going on, but on another hand, you read it and you're like, really? Okay, there's more to this. Yeah, Vanish 4. If y'all are not reading Vanish, pick it up. You are truly, truly, truly missing out.
I would absolutely agree. It's a good book.
I did want to throw this in here just for the simple fact that, and I think I've heard somebody say that's actually a very good seller. Gunslinger Spawn issue 15 came out yesterday. This was like another good issue. I liked it. I enjoyed it.
Are you talking about Vanish, Mike? Or are you talking about Gunslinger Spawn? Curious.
He might be talking about Vanish.
I think so, but I wasn't positive.
Yeah, and it's yeah, I think it does need to pick up a little speed as far as Vanish is concerned. But I mean, so far I've loved it. I mean, I've loved the twists and turns. I've loved the art. I mean, I just think it's been a great book.
Well, they've done a lot of setup of introduction of the character.
Yeah,
and they dove into the character pretty hard, which I appreciate.
Yeah, especially since these are brand new characters that we've never heard of before.
Right.
You know, I mean, it would be different if they were rebooting something, but they're not. They're literally giving us an entirely new universe, for lack of a better way to put it. But the reason why I wanted to bring up Gunslinger Spawn, they are on the 15th issue, and that has been 15 solid issues. The entire story, all 15 issues, has been good. The art in all 15 issues has been fantastic. Usually when you get this deep into a series, you do have the filler book. You do have maybe there was one book that, I don't know, the artist had a hand cramp or something and it just wasn't that good. Not in this. Gunslinger Spawn, Image and Todd McFarlane has been doing this right, and it has been solid since issue 1. This is my honorable mention.
Yeah, that about 13, 14, 15 is about where Immortal Hulk got kind of weird and took a dip.
Yeah.
It picked back up, but that's where it kind of took a dip, and you're like, okay.
Yeah, and Gunslinger Spawn just keeps getting better with every issue, and it was good to begin with. So before I hit my last two, I noticed we got a couple more people on. Y'all make a comment and get into the running for the Christmas presents. We're going to have 3 drawings later on tonight. So a couple of things. Number 1.
Heck yes.
Have you read it?
Yep.
Okay, so this next part is only for you, Mr. Taylor. Tom, we need to talk about this. I don't care if you're the writer or not. You don't drop something like Vault 538 in there and then just walk away from it. That was uncalled for. I need an explanation. DM me and we will get this straightened out.
And that explanation needs to come before issue number 100 because
exactly.
It's going to be a long 4 weeks.
Yeah, it is. But Tom Taylor is doing a fantastic job with Nightwing. This is another gorgeous cover, by the way.
It's a beautiful cover. Redondo is doing great artwork. Yeah. Tom Taylor, for my money, Nightwing is one of the top 3 books that DC is putting out right now. So
one of the things that one thing about Tom Taylor, and it's also the same thing about Chip Zdarsky. They can write a cameo into a book and it does not feel forced. It feels natural. It's like they should be there. Just do Film Age.
That's Chris Padilla.
Yep.
What's up, Chris?
One of the cool things about this particular book, Nightwing 99, there truly is no cameo. It's just a solo Nightwing adventure. I did enjoy that. And please correct me if I'm wrong. The Hold. That's never been mentioned before anywhere, has it?
Not that I recall. That one caught me by surprise a little bit.
And that was a really cool concept. I really hope they revisit that. Well, they're going to have to revisit it
They
for
have
Vault
to, yeah.
538. But I really hope they revisit that and give it more of a backstory. I mean, I really enjoyed that whole concept. I thought that was fantastic. But Nightwing, Tom Taylor, I mean, he took Nightwing and turned Nightwing into a DC must read.
Absolutely.
Nightwing is no longer a B character, on the second shelf. Nightwing is definitely a add it to your pull list and start reading. It's fantastic.
So freaking good.
Yep. My last book of the night, and
Hang on one sec, man. For anybody who just popped in, if you want to be entered into our drawings for 3 different Christmas presents we're giving away, you got to leave a comment. No comment, no entry in for the drawing. It's that easy.
And one of these entries is a slab.
That's not it.
This isn't it. This is something totally different, but it's one of the giveaways.
Guessable.
But hey, the slab, I'll give y'all a little teaser on it. It's a 9.8, and she's pretty.
It is beautiful.
Yes, very.
Donated very generously by good friend Mike Wesolowski.
So the last book, this is pretty much going to be for anybody local. So local artist and friend of the shop and realtor and kind of a weird, quirky guy, but we love him anyway.
And former quiz show co-host.
And former quiz show co-host. Keep in mind, we're all weird and quirky. Jeremy Bernal has come out with his 2021-2022 sketchbook. I'm not sure how many of these he actually had printed.
Less than 100.
Yeah, less. This one right here actually says this is number 41 of 65. I'm going to have to talk to him. I think I should have ranked lower with my social media influencer status. But hey, we'll discuss that later. But yeah, if y'all get a chance, if you can track a copy of these down, I've already flipped through it. There's some really, really, really good art in here.
We've got, I think, 9 copies left on the wall at the store.
Yeah, so I would definitely get by there and get one. Since Jeremy's not watching, I'm going to tell off on him right quick. What?
I see a band hammer coming.
Me too. No.
Why are we showing it? Don't show it. Ban them.
Well, I was trying to get to that, but it's not letting me for some reason. We'll take care of them in a minute. So, like I said, I'm going to tell off on Jeremy for just a moment. Jeremy does not. Oh, it's on Twitch. No wonder I can't get to it. Yep. Jeremy does not like drawing Swamp Thing. He really doesn't. Yeah, he does not like drawing Swamp Thing.
Oh, Swamp Thing. He loves drawing Man Thing, but he does not like drawing Swamp Thing.
But he does not like drawing Swamp Thing. Last year at Free Comic Book Day, I told him that he had a choice. I've got just a comic book board, and I made him and Tom Price draw a character on it. Same character side by side. Next year, I'm going to do something different. I'm going to do the exact same character. So before it's done, this entire character, just their head, is going to cover this comic book backboard. Why am I doing this? I don't have a clue. I just thought it would be funny to force them to draw the same character over and over and over again in a different style than they did the year before. Well, I told him he had a choice, Swamp Thing or Lady Death. He does not like drawing either one of them. He chose Swamp Thing.
Well, I pity the fool.
Yeah. Well, this is what I'm going to throw off on him. He has a Swamp Thing that he did in here that is absolutely beautiful. For somebody who does not like drawing Swamp Thing, it was a gorgeous Swamp Thing in here.
See, I find that funny because I also asked him to draw Swamp Thing for me years ago up at the shop. That's funny.
Yeah, so the way, if he does not want to draw something, the way that you get him to draw it is to give him a choice of 2 things that he does not like drawing.
That way he's guaranteed to be unhappy and you're guaranteed to be happy either way. So it's beautiful.
Exactly. But those are actually the comics that from last week. Last week was a really light week. So we had last week's and this week's. I have been reading DC versus Vampires, and which I've loved. I thought has been great. And DC War of the Undead Gods, and hey, War of the Undead Gods is also by Tom Taylor.
Uh-huh.
So if y'all, those are like really good books. Also, I'm just trying to pick out the books that I think y'all would enjoy the most, and not be a DC or Marvel homer and kind of get a little bit of everybody involved.
Well, here is a book that came out this week that you have not read, if I recall correctly, but you might want to consider it. IDW has mostly been known for their intellectual property that they get from other people: GI Joe, Transformers, Star Trek, Sonic the Hedgehog, that kind of thing. Well, we're branching out into doing some unique and created IP there at IDW, and one of their early books that they're starting with is this one, Dead Seas. Uh, First of all, that very 60s look to the art, or 60s, 70s look to the art, I kind of dig it. I don't always dig that style, but I dig it here. You got some guys out on a boat in the ocean, which is a good place for a boat. But there's also this girl who sees things like that.
Oh, now we're talking. Lift up just a little bit. Yeah, now we're talking. That's kind of like a cross between Johnny Quest and Scooby Doo type art.
I'm just going to tell you that gets bigger and more hideous as the book goes on. But, for example,
Oh, nice.
this is an interesting read. If you haven't checked it out, check out Dead Seas. Now, coming shortly, they have another new book called Breath of Shadows. Tell me that doesn't look awesome.
Now, is this Dead Seas? Is it ongoing, mini, or one
Yes,
shot?
it's ongoing.
Okay.
Yeah, it's worth a good read. Check it out and see if that catches your eye. Another thing that came in this week for anybody who is into D&D and such, let me grab this bad boy. These are called Dicelings.
I figured you were going to get one.
This dragon folds up into a D20, like so. This one's actually an owl bear. But there's a red dragon, a black dragon, an owl bear, and a beholder. And it's like the love child of Transformers and a Kinder Egg and Dungeons and Dragons. It's way more fun than it has any right to be. These are really cool. If you dig that kind of stuff, these are like $13, $14, $99, something like that. Really fun. And it all folds right back up into a D20. So that's pretty darn cool. We've got plenty of them on the shelves at the store. I say that we did last night. They just came in yesterday. We sold a bunch yesterday, but we had plenty in the back. From what I understand, we were completely out of owl bears as of this morning, but we had to raid the back room to get some more.
Now that's why aren't they all the same size?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll do a little size comparison for you. So the dragon folds up into a D20 of this size.
Okay. So if the owl and the dragon are the same size, who would win in the fight?
Probably the dragon, because the dragons typically have other than straight up like claws and fangs kind of weapons. They breathe fire or acid or ice or what have you. Probably would whoop an owlbear, but I hate to say it, but I gotta be honest.
Well, I tell you what, since
Time for the unboxing.
yes, since we are talking about toys, I don't know what you saying yes for. You're never going to get to play with it. It's my toy.
I just want to know what's in it.
You just want to know what's in it.
Yeah.
I'm going to be honest with you. Of the people watching, the only person that probably will ultimately care what this is one Mr. Josh Olive.
Ooh.
And Josh, I will tell you, I don't know if this sounds familiar, but I will tell you, it's coming from Harrisburg, Pennsylvania.
Is it now?
Yes, it is.
Oh, well,
Yeah, we
I
saw
anxiously await.
we saw how he perked up. He knows what comes from Harrisburg, Pennsylvania.
Indeed, I do.
Oh, thank God, no popcorn to deal with. Oh, looky
No,
there.
they package
looky
very
there.
nicely.
Looky there, looky there.
Who'd you get? Who'd you get?
Outback has arrived.
How did you get that? I tried ordering that and it was out of stock.
So I actually ordered him a couple of days ago, and yes, I will be opening him completely.
I tried to order that weeks ago and he was out of stock.
There's two different versions of Outback.
Yes,
Yes. This is the gray-headed version.
I know that. I tried to order that.
Really?
Yes.
I ordered this Monday.
Oh, that's so frustrating.
Monday. Yeah. Now I have decided that when the red-headed version of Outback comes out, and nobody's going to get this except for you, but I will be ordering the red-headed version of Outback, basically the younger version of him.
Yes.
Except I'm not going to call him Outback because that younger version of him, that is straight up all day long Lone Wolf McQuaid Jr.
I get that.
Yeah, I mean that's the first thing I thought. Oh, look, you cannot play with Outback. Outback is all mine. He may even end up sitting on my desk at work.
Maybe Outback wants to come over and play with Gung Ho, maybe?
He might have to do that. We're going to see if we can get him completely out of this plastic and stuff. I know I'm hurting him.
Outback's a tough dude. He can take it.
Do what?
I said Outback's a tough dude. He can take it.
Yeah, and I'll be honest with you, I actually really like the gray-headed version of Outback better.
I didn't at first, but he's grown on me quite a lot, and I kind of have to say I agree with that assessment now.
Oh, I thought we lost his knife there for a second. There he is. Yeah, we're trying to get him completely open, then we'll show him off here in a second. But yeah, I was considering that I ordered it Monday and it got delivered today. I was kind of shocked on the shipping speed, especially this time of year.
Yeah.
So I'm definitely not going to complain about that. But yeah, I mean, they've got them on there. I think it's for what you're getting and the detail of this figure. I think it's a really good price too. I want to say it was $24.
Yeah, it's about right. I have, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23 of these figures. Damon Hawk has all of them, and I'm super jealous. But
well,
I do love them.
Believe it or not, this is actually my first one.
Well, that's awesome.
I have never really and truly pulled the trigger on them. Oh, look, hey, now wait a minute. I am loving this. So Outback does come with a knife, and the sheath is actually on his ankle.
Yep.
And the knife fits right in there perfectly.
Yep.
I am loving that. Backpack is just a slot in his back, and you just pop it right in that slot. It's got the little whatever you want to call this thing right here, little spiky thing coming off of it, and it just goes right in.
Yeah, it's I will say some of the figures are a little bit stranger than others because they're wearing for example, we'll go with Firefly, right? He's got this big, thick suit uh, that you can see wrapped around his waist. It's got the little kind of a loincloth protection thing since he deals with explosives and stuff.
Yeah, see, I want the
So,
Firefly, and he stays sold out.
so he's a little bit thicker looking and he's less maneuverable because of it. Um, but he's pretty solid looking. I will say one of my favorite characters from just the sculpt and how they did it is Zartan. Dude, look
Yes.
at Zartan.
Yeah, and Zartan is another one that stays sold out.
I mean, look at this. And just like the original figure back in the day, his backpack looks exactly the same and it's hinged exactly the same.
Now, doesn't it have like a head in it?
It's got another face, yeah.
Look, you showing?
Nice.
So yeah, it's pretty darn cool. I will say the blue ninjas are interesting figures. They come with alternate heads because they wear those masks like the fox and the rabbit or whatever they are. You can put the different heads on them. A surprising one for me was how good the figure is because he's like kind of a basic character, and there's a million of them running around. But look at this.
Oh yeah, the Crimson Guard.
That's a good one.
Yeah, that really is. Have you seen that on? It's I believe it's called HasLab.
Yes.
The Hiss tank.
Oh my God. Yes, I didn't order it.
I want it so bad.
It was $400, and I was just like, I can't.
I think it's actually down to like $3.99 now.
Oh
I'm
no!
sorry,
In that case,
$2.99.
in that case, I might as well get it.
Yeah, sure, go right ahead. I cannot get this gun in his flipping hand because
well, you have to watch out for that because the way that they're designed, their hands are usually like this, and they've got their trigger finger here.
Yep.
But these bottom several fingers are usually bent in a little bit more than you want.
Yep.
So you really kind of have to work it to get their hands in there, so that their fingers on the trigger and all that stuff. Because you want that. I will say now, wackadoo characters that I had to get. He's a wackadoo character. He was never used for anything. But dude, Crocmaster.
He just looks cool.
He looks so cool. Look at that. And of course, he comes with Fiona. How awesome is that?
We are working our. Oh, there we go. There we go.
You got it?
I got it. And all I really want to do is just stand there and let him scream, "Yo, Joe," and do this. Are you ready? Are you ready, bud? Watch the screen. This is going to look awesome. Yo, Joe! Yeah, big kids. That's all it ever is right there.
Oh boy, what's my Grail figure / vehicle? I would be absolutely 100% lying if I didn't say that I have always wanted the USS Flag, the 7-foot long aircraft carrier. Now, given that these figures are a totally different scale and they're almost twice as big as the original 3 3/4 inch figures back in the day, how big would the USS Flag have to be for these?
Yep, it would have to be massive.
Gihugic.
But I think that it would look amazing dead center of the shop.
You know, I have to agree. We'd have to build a special case for it and charge people to walk in and ooh and ah over it. We'll pull the curtain back and it'll be like, oh, and the lights will come up. It'd be fantastic.
One thing that I'm definitely, and I did not notice this on the website. Let me turn this around and see if we can kind of.
Yeah, let me embiggen you there.
So he has got, I mean, a lot of detail to his face. I was not expecting the level of detail that they went to
Oh yeah,
with his
they're
face.
all very detailed. You don't even have his finger on the trigger.
No, I just kind of, I mean, it was becoming a pain in the butt just trying to get the gun in his hand. I'll work that trigger finger here in a minute. I just wanted to get the gun in his hand so we could kind of show what he looked like.
Oh, I like he's got the flashlight.
Yep, he's got the
Because the original
flashlight.
just had that hard molded onto the leg, but he's
Yeah,
got the
and
flashlight, he's got the gun, he's got the knife. Yeah, that's awesome.
yeah, and then he's got like this little cell phone thing. Oh, and he's got his shovel, spade,
Oh,
whatever you want to call it.
oh, of course, yeah. I mean, he's
Yeah.
out in the woods. He's got to dig a hole every now and again.
Well, you know, you do what you got to do. So, but yeah, I don't know where this little cell phone is supposed to go on him. That's kind of weird.
Sometimes they don't have a good place. Mostly they do. They'll have a spot like check on the back inside of his backpack. Sometimes there's a little mold cut out where something like that goes. Firefly has one of those.
Is that rain?
It's supposed to be raining, and then
No, I mean,
turn
it's
into
not.
ice and snow as we drop from 50 degrees was the high today down to a negative 10-degree wind chill factor and sustained 25-mile-an-hour winds.
Yeah, I don't think it's the snow portion of it's really and truly not supposed to hit until like around 11 o'clock tonight.
Depending on which news you're watching, it's anywhere between 7 and 11 o'clock tonight. That's when all that's supposed to hit.
Yeah, my son's wanting to try to make plans for tomorrow, and I'm like, you're gonna have to hold up on that.
Yeah, that's a wait and see for tomorrow. Oh, hang on, I just switched this. Switch back.
Trigger finger has been
activated.
Activated. We are good to go. I will tell you one thing. When you do order this one, the way the strap is coming off of his gun,
yeah,
it does make it extremely difficult to get the gun in his hand.
Yeah, some of them are like that.
Yeah, so I'm pretty sure that now that the gun is in his hand, it's never coming out again.
I say that about a lot of them, and then I end up messing with them anyway. Have you seen Spirit Iron Knife?
Yes, I saw that one on their website. But
Dude,
this was one of those.
He's got places on his arm where you can put his eagle. Like his eagle can rest on his arm because she's got little pegs in her feet. So you can put his eagle on his arm, and he comes with the backpack where you can put his eagle too.
So let me jump on this right quick. We have got 9 people watching.
It was 10,
and we had 10, but somebody left. Boo on them. We've got 9 people watching, and we have got
7 people left now.
Oh, 7 people left. All right, then y'all just keep going. If you have not made a comment, make a comment so we can get you into this drawing. We're giving away 3 Christmas presents tonight. We've got this one. You can kind of figure out what that is.
I know it's $40. You're lost if you don't get it.
Yep. We have the mystery pack that we will be giving away. 5 comic books. 3 of them are number 1s, recent number 1s. One is a sketchbook from another local artist by the name of Tom Price. Another is a Bronze Age book that is signed. It is a signed book. And then we have this beautiful 9.8 slab that we will be giving away. That was
donated by Mike Weslowski, and anybody that knows Mike knows that he has good taste.
And he has very good taste. And literally the first thing that was said when I was told, hey, look what Mike donated to us. And the only thing is you can't win it.
Yep, that was right.
And that hurt, but I'm okay now. I'm looking forward to giving it away. It is the season.
It is indeed.
So we are good on all that.
I want to type down a name. Somebody comment.
We want to type down the name. Somebody comment.
We've got the little wheel over here, and every time somebody makes a comment, oh, she is on that wheel in a heartbeat. So you know what? I started to say let's give one away now, and then Matthew Posey said do it. So we've got 3 giveaways. Let's go ahead.
Let's do it.
All right, let me
Present the wheel.
Yeah, we are about to spin the wheel. Give me just a second. Let me share that.
Spin that wheel. Spin that wheel.
Woo.
Oh, while you're setting that up, I do have to show something off that. Oh, there you go. Never mind.
Oh,
You're
sorry.
fast. I was just gonna say I came upstairs, so I missed the ending of it because my wife was not gonna pause it until we were done doing the show. But my wife, we're watching Die Hard as for our Christmas movie, and I ran across this earlier today, and it made me laugh.
Oh, hang on, you can spin in a second. Oh yeah, I like that one.
That
Have
just
you
cracked me up.
have you seen the one where it shows Rambo getting booked into the small town sheriff's office, and
Uh-uh.
they've got the Christmas tree in the background circled that says everybody thinks that Die Hard's a Christmas movie. So is Rambo.
Nice.
So before we spin the wheel, I'm going to do this to let's make it fair. I want to do it before we spin the wheel. We are going to hold off on the slab for a few more minutes.
Yep.
So, Josh, what do you want to give away? Do you want to give away what's in here, or do we want
let's
to give
start with
away
that one.
the mystery pack?
Let's start with the mystery pack. That's a fun one.
All right, spin the wheel. Let's see who wins the mystery pack. Come on, you can do it.
Oh wow, it sounds like a Geiger counter.
It really does.
I detect radioactivity.
It was.
Mike Wesolowski.
Mr. Mike Wesolowski, you win the mystery pack.
Rock on.
So if everything works out and the store opens tomorrow, I will have it up there by, let's say, hopefully noonish. Yeah, because I don't think Mike really wants to win his own donation.
True.
So now we will yes, sir. You want it. The mystery pack is all yours.
And people are happy for you. That's awesome. We have a good supportive bunch here.
We really do.
We really, really, really do.
So what are your thoughts on what James Gunn has been up to here the past week?
Ay. For anybody who doesn't know what he's been doing, he recently was put in charge of the DCEU, so the DC movie franchise. And I think the only way he knew how to start was with a blank slate. So in October, DC told Henry Cavill to announce that he was going to continue to be Superman going forward. That's awesome. Then in December, they turned right back around 2 months later, and James Gunn said, hey, man, you know what? Don't have to put those tights on anymore because we don't need you. And he followed that really quickly by telling Gal Gadot that there's the door, don't let it hit you in the booty on the way out. And he told Jason Momoa the same thing. So he cleared the decks. And on the one hand, I absolutely get it. You're starting over. You need a slate of young actors who can grow with the franchise and who aren't doing anything for the next 12 years, all that jazz. I get it. But on the other hand, you're going to be hard pressed to find somebody who is as good at Superman. Now, it's not his fault that the scripts were terrible, but he was a good Superman like Henry Cavill. He was a spectacular Superman, and Lord help you, you're not going to find anybody that's a better Wonder Woman than Gal Gadot. She's fantastic.
The problem there is she was just given a horrible movie with Wonder Woman 84.
That was terrible. Not her fault.
And I know that this is going to be a very unpopular opinion, and if I make anyone mad, offend them, or overall hurt their feelings, please send your email to nick@twobrothers.com.
Correct.
I actually enjoyed Jared Leto's Joker. For the version of Joker that they were going for, I
don't.
Now, keep in mind, at the end of the day, yes, the actor does have an idea of how they want to portray it, but they still have to do what the director says. I was not a fan of all the tattoos and everything, just the way that he looked. I was not a fan of the smiling face, smiling hand tattoo. But the way he portrayed the Joker, I was a fan of that. I did like his portrayal of him. See, look, Matthew Posey, you are now my friend.
It wasn't that it was terrible any more than it's terrible the way that Joaquin Phoenix portrays Joker, except the fact that it's not the Joker. Um, it's an interesting movie about a deranged person, but it ain't the Joker.
Yep.
I just without Batman, there's no Joker. Uh, Joker doesn't make sense in that world, and I realized they tried to loosely tie it in and all that jazz. It didn't work for me. Um, but yeah, Leto, it was okay. I still think to this day the one who nailed the craziness, the anarchy, the cleverness, the strategy, the long-term strategy, both in the short-term tactician kind of guy. I think Heath Ledger, his character nailed that. And it's tough to ask anybody else to fill those shoes after that.
But at the same time, we also have to look at who Heath Ledger was given to work with. Christopher Nolan, Christian Bale. I mean, I think that he had an overall, he definitely had an overall better story. He definitely had an overall better script and writing team. And the design of his character was a lot better.
Right, but also a lot of that was up to him.
Yeah.
And he brought that to it. Like the whole pencil trick, that was all him.
Yeah.
And I thought that was fantastic.
Yeah, and that's what
right.
we're saying.
Right, but that's not the Joker to me. I don't think the Joker's depressed. And certainly Joaquin Phoenix's version of him is very depressed, and it's a pitiful, heart-rending look at that character. But for me, Joker's not a depressed guy.
And so this next comment, this one right here, I honestly don't think he needs to take back over the DCEU. The first Batman Begins really and truly wasn't that great of a movie. It was good.
I loved it.
I mean, now don't get me wrong. It was a good movie, but it wasn't as great as what everybody thought it was. And it was just like some minor things in it. The Dark Knight was the best one. It was phenomenal.
The Empire Strikes Back. I agree.
Yeah, I mean Heath Ledger and Christian Bale, the dynamic between those two, they pulled it off perfectly. Dark Knight Rises, better than Batman Begins, but nowhere near, the Dark Knight.
Agreed.
So I think for what Nolan was going for, he wrapped it up. He did it in his 3 movies, and it's time to move on.
Well, and Nolan, he went with that like hyper realistic kind of a world, which was all street level characters and stuff, right?
Yeah.
And you had some like long range tactician business kind of people with a lot of money, which he did some interesting things with. But you're not going to have Superman in that world. You're not going to have Lobo, no Aquaman popping up. There were little things maybe, but he tried to make the world as realistic as possible, and I respected his attempts to do that. It would make it difficult to integrate it with the rest of the DC universe, though.
Yeah, I think my problem with Batman Begins is when all the prisoners actually break out and the fear gas is taken over and he's flying over the city. It really kind of lost me on that during that aspect of it.
Why is that?
I don't know. It just wasn't working for me. When Gordon was running around in the Batmobile and Batman is kind of gliding over the city, there was just something about that just did not work, and I can't put my finger on it.
If you ever are, I would love to hear it because it worked for me. I didn't have any heartburn with it at all.
Matt made a really good comment. Rise was missing something.
Agreed.
I think that Batman Begins was missing something, and it was in that. It was in that. I. It lost me at that moment. They could have done the entire story of Batman Begins. In my mind, should have literally been him with Ra's al Ghul training the entire time, having them work together to take someone down, and then him leaving Ra's at the end of the movie. I think that would have been a lot better.
I would
And
have liked that movie, but I
yeah,
liked the one that they made. The Dark Knight Rising, uh, yeah, that was certainly missing something. I did like the Catwoman there. Um,
yep,
I did not love Bane. I did like the little twist there, um, that Bane wasn't the big bad after all. Wahaha.
yep.
And I thought that was pretty cool. That was pretty well done. But the ending, the little bit of a happy ending was I kind of dug it. I liked it.
I like that, and I like the fact that the bat and the cat end up together in the end because that's kind of the way that it's meant to be, and
Yep.
it has been that way for years. Um, but to me, it would have been a lot better off if we would have seen them end up in their natural state, and that would have been they end up together at the end, running across rooftops, jumping from rooftop to rooftop, basically swinging through the city. Because to me, when I think the bat and the cat, that's what I think of is them playing the cat and mouse game on the rooftops. But that was just a personal thing.
I don't disagree, but I thought the ending. I would have liked to have seen it with Batman continues, but as it was, I thought the weird torch passing to the cop who turned out to be dun 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 Dick Grayson was kind of ham-fisted.
Yeah, that was kind of forced in my mind.
Yeah.
It was kind of like, oh, and by the way, hey, here's just a little bit of fan service when you really didn't need it.
I do wonder if there was something on the cutting room floor that would have made that make more sense.
Honestly, now I do have to admit, yeah, it was kind of cool. Robin, that ended up being his name, but I think it would have been a whole lot better if he was actually Terry McGinnis from the beginning to the end.
Yeah, I could see that. That would have been cool. That would have
Yeah,
been
I mean,
cool.
I think that would have made it for me instead of just being because that would have really and truly, if they wanted to do something, that would have set up Christian Bale coming back in the future to help train him
Yep.
or to help figure out a crime or something. Now, as much as I hate to say it because I was dead set against it, as soon as I saw the announcement, I threw myself in the floor and started kicking and screaming like a 2-year-old. But Edward Cullen has done an amazing job as Batman. I'm just glad he does not sparkle. The Batman, yeah, Robert Pattinson. The Batman, I thought was great. He really, really, really pulled off that whole tortured soul feel as far as I was concerned.
A little
I
too
love
much
the
for
movie.
me. He was a little too goth and for me. I enjoyed the detective aspects of the character. That
Yeah.
was really good. I
Um,
could have 100% done without the little snippet at the end of Riddler talking to somebody in Arkham and oh no, it's the Joker. Like for the love of all things holy, back off of the Joker. Batman has a fantastic rogues gallery. You don't need that.
Now, I did enjoy the fact that Joker was already in Arkham. Him and Batman had already gone at it. They were basically celebrating their 1 year anniversary when you watch the deleted scenes. I did like that because we didn't get a movie full of setup. We just got a hey, look, it already happened. It is what it is. It's over with. We've moved on.
No, I like that aspect, and I would have liked it if they had just had a mention of it, or you just saw it on a board
Yeah.
somewhere. But the actor they had playing Joker, nope, did not work for me. And that actually, I didn't like anything about that whole scene.
Yeah.
Joker would have been better left as a mystery. He's there, you know it, but that's all you know.
I think the only thing that I did not going into it, I was like, already, I don't like this. This is not what he's supposed to look like. I was not a fan of the Riddler looking like a knockoff Zodiac killer.
Yeah.
But by the end of the movie, it was working for me. I was like, this is actually pretty cool. I mean, if we could have just gotten rid of that aspect of it, I think it would have been a lot better. But if we'd have gotten rid of that aspect of it, we would have taken away the whole scenes of other people showing up dressed like him. It could really have been anyone.
Right, and that's what made it work.
Yeah, and that's what, once I started seeing that aspect of it, I was like, oh, this was great.
Now, this comment here, I absolutely agree with, but same
Yep.
for Lex Luthor. Oh my God, every single Superman movie does not have to have Lex Luthor in it.
I would love it if we could get a Batman movie. I think the Robert Pattinson version of Batman would probably be the best way to go, since he is still younger looking, at least. Go with Court of Owls. Let him and the Court of Owls have at it.
Yes,
I
100%
think that would be the best thing to do at this point.
I could not agree more.
Yeah, it gives us, not only does it give us a whole new set of villains that we've never seen on the big screen before, but that would also bring in new people. I mean, because you're going to get okay, wait a minute, they're doing something new. What's this Court of Owls?
Yep. And that would introduce a whole lot more people who want to go back to the comic and find that.
Yeah, and the Court of Owls, for anybody who does not know, I mean, I'm sure everybody's heard the name at this point. They were really introduced in New 52. Great storyline. Just the way that everything was done, that they can get a lot more mileage out of the Court of Owls than what they've been getting. I think it's just going to take the right writer to actually pull that off.
They could do so much with the history of the Court of Owls.
Yep.
You could take Gotham back 100 years and set this whole story up with a kind of a flashback kind of a thing, which would be awesome.
Yep.
God, I would love it.
And I mean,
we just got a new copy of the Court of Owls trade that comes with the mask.
Oh yeah.
We just got a new copy of that in yesterday.
Yeah, if anybody wants to know what we are talking about, the Court of Owls trade that he's talking about is very possibly one of the best things that came out of New 52. The story was good. It was creepy. There was tons of suspense. It was, they're everywhere. Who done it? I mean, it was everything that you would have wanted in that type of story.
And they had an automatic gravitas.
Yep.
Because the way that they were introduced, there's a history behind them. It's just not just like, here's my origin story. And they've been around a long time. And so they've been around, they've been operating behind the scenes, they've been manipulating things. And a lot of the stuff about Gotham that makes it so totally screwed up is because they designed it to be that way. They've pushed it into that position. Really, really cool.
Now, did you read, I think it came out a couple of weeks ago, actually, the Detective Comics Annual?
Yep.
Okay, so I really enjoyed that. I enjoyed that going back in time when Gotham technically had a different name. They should
Gotham.
Yeah, Gotham or something crazy like that. They should do that with the Court of Owls and have those characters intersecting with him.
Agreed. I have to say that portrayal of Poison Ivy in that book was the coolest.
That really was.
That was awesome. For anybody who doesn't know what we're talking about, the annual for Detective Comics came out a couple of weeks ago. Strongly recommend you pick that up and read it. It fits into the story that's been going on, but it's also totally separate and on its own. Really, really good.
Yeah, I'm usually, the only reason why I like the annuals when they come out is I know I'm fixing to get a one shot.
Yep.
And a lot of times I do end up becoming disappointed in that one shot because I've built it up in my mind. I think it should be more than what it really ended up being. But the Detective Comics annual and the Nightwing annual, both of those blew my expectations away. Both of those phenomenal books. There's the Nightwing annual, and I mentioned this last week. It never comes out and says it. I don't even think he's ever actually mentioned in the book. But if you read that book and think about it after the fact, that book shows you how important Alfred truly was to Bruce and Dick's upbringing.
Yes, 100%.
I mean, how he made just such a massive difference. It honestly, that book will give you an even greater appreciation of the Alfred character.
Yep, I could not agree more. I see we had some people drop off, had some people come back in. If you're new to the show tonight, or you hadn't been on yet this evening, leave us a comment. We still have a couple of giveaways, and all you have to do to qualify is leave us a comment. If it's a positive comment, even better.
Mm-hmm.
But speaking of which, we should probably hand out prize number 2.
It's a small one, but you're gonna like it.
Yeah, pretty much guaranteed to like it.
Yeah, hit that spin button. Let's see who wins this one.
You got to pull it up on the screen.
Oh crap! I do. Hang on.
That doesn't count.
Yeah, it counts. It's still spin. No, it's not. Crap.
Yeah, Superman needs to fight Brainiac.
So we are going to do that. That does not count. We're not telling anybody who won that one.
So,
All the names are still on there.
Yeah, because it's got to be on the screen for it to be legit.
Yep. What we did, easy, but I'm gonna let that slide because it is after 8:00. So the only thing that we did was we removed Mr. Wazlowski's name because he's already won one for the night, and plus, I don't think he really wants that other one over there. So for this one, this little bad boy right here.
Well, no.
Oh, I'm sorry. Spin that wheel, Vanna.
Surprised it didn't call me crispy.
No, you didn't get the Vanna reference.
No.
You're too young.
The Geiger counter's going off again. We are irradiated.
So who are we? Mr. James A. Parker.
James Parker. James.
All right, so write that right there, and then we will. There you go. Oh, we're down to the final 4. The final 4.
It's the final countdown.
Let me get this off the screen, and we'll show it one more time. We're down to the final 4 for the slab. Uh-huh. Yes, sir.
Well, thank you, James. It pays off to show up to this show. See, look at that.
Yep.
In addition to all this, awesome, you also won a Christmas present.
Mm-hmm.
A surprise, surprise, surprise.
Yeah, I was actually kind of wanting to do that like earlier in the month and just do like a giveaway a week, but with our schedules and everything and stuff going on, and we had to, not do a show. And then it was like, then last night the opportunity presented itself. So it's like, okay, we'll just do 3 giveaways.
I'm all on board with it. Let's do it.
Uh-huh. Now, as far as, James Gunn, the Henry Cavill thing, they're going to
and The Rock also. He also got the boot.
Yeah. They're going to recast Superman and go a younger route. They really need to go with a no-name. We do not need an established actor.
I pretty much agree with that, yeah.
They need to, because if you go back to it, Christopher Reeves, really and truly, nobody knew who he was at that time. They had heard of him. He had already done a couple of movies, but he was not a quote-unquote established big-screen actor.
Well, Superman is what made him the household name, I think.
Yeah.
Speaking of DC and DC movies, I finally got a chance to watch Black Adam, by the way.
What do you think about it?
Have you seen it yet?
I have not seen it yet.
It's a fun popcorn flick.
Most of his movies are.
There are certainly things I like about it. There were definitely things I didn't care for about it, but for the most part, yeah, it was a fun little popcorn flick, and not a whole lot else to say. I don't think the special effects were better than a lot of DC movies have been, but let's see what else. The story was better than a lot of the DC movies have been. I'll give them that. Um, they fell in the same trope of here is an artifact. This turns someone into an angry demon person who's unstoppable. Uh, didn't care for that.
Mm-hmm.
Dr. Fate was more or less completely underutilized. And you want to know more about him, but they don't really stoke your curiosity that much. Same thing with Hawkman. They have Atom Smasher and what's her face in there too, the tornado chick. Um, couldn't have cared less about either of them. Whoop de doodles, could not care less. Um, but Hawkman, uh, I wanted to know more. I don't think the regular audience is necessarily going to be all that intrigued and want to know more, but I wanted to know more.
Mm-hmm.
And they could tell such a good story with Hawkman. He's got such a cool background, and you could tell such a good story with him, and they just didn't do it. There was a lot to like, but it was not the be all end all that a lot of people were acting like it was. Because a lot of people were talking about it like, oh, this is every bit as good as the Avengers. Like, no, it really isn't.
Now, what were your thoughts on, just take the Black Adam aspect out of it? What were your thoughts on how the JSA was represented as far as backstory? Did they do a good job? Things like that.
No, they didn't explain it at all.
Really?
Yeah, not at all.
See, I haven't seen it. I know very little about the movie. I've actually avoided, everybody keeps talking about how much they love it, but nobody's really talking about the movie.
They don't explain the JSA at all. I wanted them to, but they didn't. Um, they gave a quick little 3 sentence history description of Dr. Fate and how he works,
Mm-hmm.
but that was it. Nothing about Hawkman whatsoever about his origin. And then the other two cast members, like I said, were Atom Smasher, who is the nephew of the original Atom Smasher, and you don't care about him at all. He is utterly useless. And same thing for Tornado Girl, whose name has just escaped me. She made such an impression, I don't remember her name. Didn't care. Just didn't care. And why in the world would you set up Hawkman's mansion in Louisiana? He's outside New Orleans. That was a weird choice to me. Like, JSA doing a whole lot of work there in New Orleans, are they? What's up with that?
Well, unless they just got finished fighting Marie Laveau.
Maybe, but doubtful. It was interesting. The whole story in Kandak was interesting. The opening bit was cool. There is a nice little bit you may not see coming. It wasn't like a big surprise, but you may not see it coming. And if you don't, then you're going to be like, oh, that was cool and that was fun. On the whole, the CGI was better, but still not great. Certainly, if you ever just wanted to watch somebody with Superman's powers just ripping people in half and punching people's heads off and that kind of thing, this is the movie for you.
It's one of those I'll end up watching it sooner or later. I think the movie that I really, really, really
I mean, it's on HBO Max, so just pop over and watch it.
I want to see Violent Night. Have you seen the trailer?
I have seen the trailer, and I've heard people who I trust tell me that is an automatic Christmas classic.
I see, and they're even talking about that they want to do like a series of movies. Oh, before I forget, right quick, what is James Parker's box number? Do we know?
I don't remember.
James, can you post up what your box number is, right quick?
127, maybe something like that. What's your box number, James?
And Mike, 127.
Hey, I was right.
Mike, I don't know if this is actually because okay, so what I did was on the mystery pack, the 5 comics are actually inside of a Gemini mailer because I didn't know if I was going to have to ship this.
Smart.
So
That was smart planning.
yeah, so it's actually I don't know if a Gemini mailer is going to fit inside the box. So we've already got your name written on it. I'm going to stick it on top of the subscriber boxes. More than likely tomorrow if the store opens.
Mike is familiar with that process.
Yes, so it will be propped up there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just saw where Violent Night is also just got released to pay-per-view.
Oh, I hadn't seen that yet.
And now I'm officially on vacation as of 2:00 this afternoon, so I'm pretty sure it's going to get watched in the next couple of days.
Congratulations.
Oh, it's glorious. I feel wonderful already.
Well, I feel like you guys should sing us a Christmas carol.
No, that's going to be her.
No, I had enough of karaoke today. I'm good.
Let's hear some Jingle Bell Rock or something. Go ahead.
Okay. Jingle bells. Batman smells. Robin laid an egg. Joker died. Batman cried. And the penguin got away.
That is not the version that I know.
I'll just do the spoken word version. I'll be honest with you.
No,
I
I know
forgot
the
a lot.
Joker died, Batman cried. That's not the version I know.
That's the version I always heard.
Hang on, I've got to think through it now. Joker stole the Batmobile. That's the version I know.
Yeah. Well, see, I mean, I heard that version when I was younger, but the one I was pretty much raised with was Joker died, Batman cried, and the penguin got away.
Mine was like,
And I don't-
Batmobile lost a wheel and the Joker ran away.
Yeah. See, and that was just it.
I haven't heard this one, Christmas, Bloody Christmas. Who's in that, Chris?
Yeah, I hadn't heard that one.
Interesting. Batmobile lost a wheel and Joker out. Yeah, there you go.
Yep. Yeah, I mean, I know that one.
This is like what the Pandora Music Genome Project just for this version of a Christmas song. There we go. Yeah.
Crap, I forgot.
That's not paint Batman and Robin in a very good light, I'm just gonna say. That's clearly Joker propaganda.
It truly is. So now, since we're going to get to the fan casting, is there anyone out there that you would want to see as one of the big 3?
Off the top of my head, no. I don't think so. I think they're going to have to cast more or less unknowns, I think.
Do we
let them become known for this.
My biggest fear with James Gunn is he's going to want to be that cutting edge writer director that he's tried to be in the past.
This is the plot for Christmas, Bloody Christmas. This is great.
Oh, I've got to see that now.
I want to see that so much. Oh, that's fantastic. Oh, that's I don't know, man. That's great. I love it. That's a great elevator pitch there. That's just like, what if we had sharks and tornadoes?
Mm-hmm.
Like, I gotta see a cyborg mall Santa going on a rampage. That just feels like it has to happen.
Oh, totally off topic. You know what starts January 8th, don't you?
January 8th?
On AMC?
The national championship game? What?
No. The Witching Hour, the Mayfair Witches. Bad Life,
Oh,
and
yes.
it looks really, really good so far.
Excellent.
Yep, I will definitely be watching that one. If they do it like they did Interview with the Vampire, it'll be good.
Excellent. I like to hear that.
Yeah.
That pleases me.
Yeah, Mayfair Witches. You're right. There it is.
The poster for it surprisingly good. I dig it. Yeah, you sold me with that elevator pitch. I'm on board.
Yeah. Cyborg Santa starts killing people. That is Outback approved.
That Eagles gets one. Yo, Joe.
Yep. So how many people do we have on? We got 5 people on.
We got a handful.
What do y'all think about giving away a slab?
Let's do it.
All right, let me share this screen right quick.
Share the screen. Share the screen. And have yourself a merry little slab.
Okay, hang on before you spin it. Hang on.
Jeez.
Okay, now you can spin it. I'm just messing with you. All right, who's it going to be? Drum roll. For the slab, we have
Chris Padilla
Yummy
in Texas.
Yes, sir. I am going to need your address, please, sir. If you could just DM Haven Comics your address, and I will get it from Josh, and we will get this in the mail to you just as quick as we can.
That's awesome. And a humongous thank you to Mike Westlowski for donating this prize that we just gave away. It was very generous of him to do and make somebody happy. So congratulations, Chris. Well done. You got you a new 9.8.
Mm-hmm.
That's a 9.8.
Like I said, they're Christmas presents, so you got to open your shelves to find out what they actually are.
On December 25th, no sooner and
Well,
later, or else we'll take it back.
Film Age isn't going to get his by December 25th.
True.
That's true. Not with
We
the mail
will,
the way it's
we
running
will
now.
get it there as soon as we possibly can.
Should have it by the new year, though.
Oh, yeah.
You'll
You'll
start
definitely
2023 with a 9.8.
Mm-hmm. You'll definitely have it by the middle of next week.
There you go. Wow, awesome. Thanks, Mike. Look at that. That's pretty cool. Well, I tell you what, we really appreciate everybody hanging out with us tonight. We know it's right before Christmas. Hope everybody's going to have a great Christmas. Hope you have a great holiday if Christmas isn't your holiday of choice. Hope you have an awesome new year. Just hope the best for everybody. And come out and see us at Haven, man. We have a good time up there, and we miss seeing your faces. I know it's harder for you, Chris, because that would be quite a hike. But, you know, for those who are more local than Texas, come by and see us. It'd be great. And definitely be safe tomorrow. The weather tonight is supposed to get real bad, and the wind chill tomorrow is supposed to be at -10. According to everybody on the news who has been going on about this, because this is just not weather we get down here. That kind of temperature, you can get frostbite in 20 to 30 minutes.
Yep.
If you're out in it. You do not want frostbite. Just going to lay that out there.
If something happens tomorrow and the shop does not close, Mike, James, I will have y'all's presence up there Saturday morning. If the shop does get to open tomorrow, hopefully I will have it there within an hour after the shop opens.
Boom, and it'll be good to hang out with Tom. Speaking of Tom, it's not in the room with me now, so I'll save it for next time. But y'all, for Christmas, Tom's an awesome artist, and for Christmas, he spent more than 40 hours drawing something for me. And he drew an homage cover to X-Men number 133, Wolverine Alone Against the Hellfire Club, because he remembered that was the first comic book that I ever read. And it's an 11 by 17 cover recreation. It's not a recreation, it's his own take on it, but it's got the X-Men trade dress, the whole 9 yards, 100% all hand drawn by Tom. It is awesome. and I will have that to show. I'll try and scan it so we can pop it up on the screen and show you rather than doing this number where it gets a little iffy. But yeah, we'll try and see that to show that off next time. It was a really, truly awesome piece. And it was so thoughtful to go back and dig up something he knew was meaningful to me. So freaking thoughtful. That was really, really, really cool. Totally dug it. But yeah, it was pretty spectacular.
We know last night we were on our way up to the store, and I was telling Bug what Tom had done. And I was like, he texted me a picture of it. I'm hoping that he's got a bigger picture so we can kind of sneak off to the side and you can actually see it. Or maybe he's got it in the car or something. And lo and behold, we walk in the door and you're opening it. And I'm thinking, oh, well, okay, well, this is even better.
Yeah, that was pretty spectacular. I really, really dug it. That was a lot of fun. But that was very, very generous of him and very, very sweet of him to make it that tailored to me. That was really cool.
Yep.
Well, you got anything you want to talk about before we sign off and wish all these folks a very Merry Christmas?
Nope. Y'all just be safe this weekend. Have a good Christmas. Eat way too much. I hope you get some stuff that you do not need, but you absolutely wanted. Go support your local comic book store. Just be safe and have fun. Remember, Christmas is about being a kid. Be a kid. If you get socks, throw them away.
Unless they're really cool socks that you want.
Unless they're like the big, thick, like wool Carhartt socks
Yes.
that you wear around the house. Keep those. Throw the white ones away. Just toss them. There's no point in keeping them.
Right. But if you got cool Spider-Man or Guardians of the Galaxy socks, you might want to keep those.
Yep. Just remember, all the stress and pressure, everybody's coming over. You're going to be running all over God's green earth Sunday, or everybody's going to be at your house. Just remember to have fun.
Yep, 100%.
Just have fun, enjoy the time with family, and hang out. And like I said, eat too much and play with some new toys.
Indeed, you're going to be playing with Outback.
Yep. I will be playing with Outback, and when everybody leaves Sunday, I'll be sitting down to a fat stack of comic books. And that's all you need.
Well, that is correct. That is correct. All right. Well, Merry Christmas, everybody. Hope y'all have a great one, and we will catch you all next time. So, as Mike said, Merry Christmas, everybody.
Merry Christmas.
So we're going to close out with my favorite, even though we're not a quiz show anymore, I still love this as a closer. It's great.